Alright, few things have changed since you last saw. Obviously had power washed it, but I have removed the shitty seat, I removed the shitty throttle cable that I had stuck on there. I pulled the wiring out of it, and am sort of deciding and figuring out what I want to do for the wiring. I've decided that I'm going to go with a simplistic wiring setup, since I've never actually fully rewired a tractor. And there's nothing really special going on here. It had a few safety switches, but they were already all disconnected, and take it they were all broken and busted up. So all I'm going to do is go with a simple wiring setup to make electric start work and have a kill switch and all that good stuff. One thing that's nice about working this tractor, because it's not a normal car, let's say, it's never been exposed to salt, so the only thing it's ever experienced is just letting beans sit outside. So things are crusty, but nothing is seized. Except for that engine, I guess. That was seized. Okay, so you are looking at my messy workbench, but it's all good messy stuff. So this is the carburetor off of the Snapper's 12 horsepower Briggs. So I decided to just go ahead and buy a new one. It's a cheaper aftermarket one, but it will do the job nicely. I could have definitely probably reused this one. It wasn't perfect. I had to fix the bowl that was in there. It had a pinhole in it, so I had to solder that back up. And it wasn't exactly perfect. There's probably more pinholes than I was able to actually find easily and clean up or fix easily, because the float had sink again at one point, and it had sat for so long. I mean, the fuel had turned into a crystal in there, and when that happens, you can clean it out and make it look good, but what happens is the actual jets kind of get all messed up, and they end up not being exactly right. So I just went ahead, because it was fairly inexpensive, and just got a new one for it. There are a few things that I had to do to it, however. I had to put this fuel fitting from the old one on here. It's just a 90-degree elbow. This tall pointy thing here, which holds the air cleaner on, had to get switched from that carburetor to this carburetor. The Chinese people drilled and tapped the hole the wrong size, though. I don't know if it's the standards for these carburetors changed at one point, like there's a different design or something, but all I had to do was drill a bigger hole and use the correct tap. So that worked out fine. Everything is good to go on this carburetor, except for the gasket. I gotta make a new gasket for this, because the gasket that came off of that carburetor ripped on me, so I gotta make a new gasket for that. But other than that, it's all good to go on the 12 horse Briggs on the Snapper. So this is that Snapper, and I know in the last part of the video, or the last video, depending on how I end up breaking this up, I was calling this a Snapper Comet, which isn't actually true. It's not a Comet. The Comet series was a much older series of tractor than this one. It's a very similar design, but it's not actually a Comet. I did some investigating to figure out what era the lawnmower was from and whatnot, trying to figure out exactly what it is. And it's actually a Snapper Series 6 lawn tractor. And I found that out by the serial number. So the serial number for these tractors is right here. It's a sticker that the factory sticks on there, and that's how they marked them. So what I did is I took that serial number and went online and searched to see what it was. And it turns out that it's a Series 6 lawn tractor out of the 80s. So the serial, it's a 3312X SB or something like that. So what that means is it's a 33-inch deck with a 12 horsepower engine. Then the XSB signifies, oh no, I'm sorry, it's an X6S, so a 6 series. So it's a 33-inch deck with a 12 horse engine on the back, and it's a Series 6 tractor. So the actual year of the tractor is 87. So that's confirmed by the serial number and the engine itself. So I have the shroud off of the engine right now, but it's a 12 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine. And the serial number and model number would be right on the front of the shroud that goes over the top of that. And when I looked that up, Briggs & Stratton has a very standard, well-known date coding system. So when I followed the date coding on the shroud, the engine was born on the 12th day of the 12th month of 1987. So this is in fact a 1987 Snapper Series 6 with a 33-inch deck.